Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Would you please rise and join me in the singing of our national anthem and remain standing for the invocation by Reverend Thomas Vesopoli.
Creator God, it is with grateful hearts that we gather here this afternoon. Be with us and among us at this convocation. Help us to celebrate the accomplishments of these students who are graduating. Be with them and their family and friends as they share in the joy of achievement. Let us remember and give thanks for the commitment and dedication of staff, faculty, administration, and the governors of this college. Bless these proceedings and instill in each of us that spirit which alone brings goodness, truth, and wisdom to our world. Creator of all, hear us and be with us now in all we do.
Please be seated. Thank you, Reverend Vesopoli. Welcome to the Loyalist College of Applied Arts and Technology 2012 Convocation. My name is John McMahon, and as Vice President Academic, it is my pleasure to act as Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon's exercises. Before we begin, I would ask that you check to ensure that phones and other electronic devices are turned off until the conclusion of the ceremony. As well, in the event of a fire alarm, your exit routes are located behind me, through the doors on my left, and at the doors at the back of the auditorium. Follow the exit signs out of the college, and once outside, proceed to move away from the building. This afternoon, we are recognizing graduates of the Schools of Continuing Education and the School of Media Studies. Interpreting this afternoon's ceremony is Heidi Toss. Today's convocation ceremony will be simulcast in the Student Center located downstairs on the first floor, and also in the Wilkinson Lecture Theater located across the hall from the gymnasium. I would remind the graduates that they are to return to their seats once they receive their diplomas or certificates until convocation is completed, as a courtesy to others. We understand that some of you may wish to take a picture of your graduate at the eventful moment. If you do, I ask that at the appropriate time you go by way of the back of the hall, down the side aisle of the wall, so that you are not obstructing the view of other members of the audience. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Stuart Wright, Chair of the Board of Governors, who will officially open Convocation.
Good afternoon. It's a true privilege for me to declare the 45th Convocation of Loyalist College officially opened. On behalf of the Board of Governors, I welcome each and every one of you to this wonderful occasion and extend a special welcome to our distinguished guest of honor, Ken Murphy, and to our graduates, the Loyalist College class of 2012. Today is your day, and we're here to celebrate your achievements with you. We're gathered together to celebrate the awarding of these certificates and diplomas, and those receiving these documents today have every right to feel exceedingly proud of their accomplishment and to enjoy the recognition of their success from your family and friends that are here with you. What you have achieved here at Loyalist provides you with the key to open the door of a most wonderful future. Today at Loyalist is the culmination of many choices you have made, beginning with the choice to enroll at Loyalist, to choose your programs. You chose to work diligently when you could have been doing other things. There were many things that you would have preferred doing, but you chose to excel. And now you're here about to receive the formal recognition of your success here at Loyalist. I want you to really understand this is a truly wonderful day in your life, the achievement of post-secondary education documentation. This is not a nuanced thing. This is a big deal for you. And I want to take a brief moment to share with you some views on how to best build a future armed with the achievement of today. Many of you are going to either enter the workforce or start a business or continue on to other forms of education. The documentation that you're leaving here with attests to your ability, your knowledge and skills. This documentation will get you in the door. But from then on, it's up to you. You have to set yourself apart from the others that you will work with, that you will compete with, and that you'll encounter along the way. And by doing that, if you set yourself apart, you will be successful. You'll have the information you need to carry out the work, you'll have the ability to do it, and you will have the desire to succeed. Through my own career in business, I had the opportunity of working with many, many hundreds of graduates of post-secondary institutions. And what I came to recognize that all of the successful ones had the same qualities in common. They were reliable hard workers. They were team players. They were positive influencers, and they were curious to learn about the company they were working for and with, and the field of industry that they were working in. It was really important that they had those qualities. Now, unless you're independently wealthy, always remember, you work because you have to. You work because you want a roof over your head, you want to have food in your refrigerator, and fuel in the vehicles. It allows you to make choices as to where and how you will live. So if you must work, do everything you can do to make it a happy and positive experience. Set yourself apart again, positively. Always, always be the person that can be counted on. Become the go-to person at your place of employment. Be the role model for all employees to look towards. Communicate with your leaders. You have to know exactly what's expected of you. And they'll tell you if you ask. And once you know that, do what is expected of you. Today, you are joining a group of Loyalist alumni that number over 30,000. Amongst that group are a tremendously successful group of people who have excelled in a wide range of fields across this region, across the province, across the country, in fact, around the world. Wherever you go, you'll find a Loyalist connection. And one of the things Loyalist grads tend to do is not forget Loyalist. So make sure you come back. Make sure if you need continuing education, and you will, that you do it at Loyalist or through its extension programs. A great many of the Loyalist grads become significant contributors to the alumni organization, and I would recommend you join the alumni organization. Great way to network, in spite of my critic on the left. It's also, the Loyalist Foundation is a great support for students that need financial assistance. So when you're able to, help support the Loyalist Foundation. So I'm going to leave you with the thought that now that you're going to be armed with your Loyalist diploma or certificate, do all you can to make yourself, your family, and Loyalists proud. You've earned this day, and now it's up to you to use what you have worked so hard to achieve as a member of the graduating class of Loyalist 2012. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Chair Wright. I would now like to call upon President Piercy, who will address the graduates and introduce our speaker for today. President Piercy.
Oh no, we've got the small children crying already. Chair Wright, Mr. Murphy, Reverend Thesapi, members of the board, distinguished guests, Loyalist staff, graduating class of 2012, family and friends, good afternoon and welcome. We have many wonderful special guests with us this afternoon, as at every convocation, but with your indulgence, I would like to take a moment to mention two very special colleagues of mine who are joining us this afternoon. I've had the privilege for the past 3 years of serving as honorary colonel for 8 Air Communication and Control Squadron at CFB Trenton, the Gypsies as they are affectionately known. Are a unit of highly skilled men and women who can set up and provide air traffic control for a networked airfield pretty well anywhere there's solid ground on the planet, whether it's in a chaotic airfield in Haiti in support of a humanitarian mission or 750 kilometers south of the North Pole at Canadian Forces Station Alert. They are exceptional people who often have to leave their families on very short notice to perform their important work. My commanding officer, Major Corey Crosby, is in BC completing master's studies. He wasn't able to be here with us, but very capably representing the unit, our administrative assistant, Margaret French. They call Margie the Gypsy Queen. She is the heart and soul of the squadron, who recently celebrated 20 years with our unit, and Master Warrant Officer, our Squadron Warrant Officer, Stefano Blenis. They're here in Civies today because Margie is also here celebrating the graduation of her son, David. David, sorry to embarrass you, but couldn't help myself. I know there would be many in today's audience who are members of the Canadian Forces or have friends or family members who are. I'd appreciate it if you take a moment to please join me in showing our appreciation for these wonderful individuals and the important work they do every day for us in Canada. Please join me. I know they're going to get me for embarrassing them like that, but Convocation is the ultimate celebration in the life of Loyalist College. Successful convocations are the results of the efforts and careful preparation of many members of the college who all take great pride in their roles in preparing the campus for today. Special thanks to our registrar, Laura Nauman, and her staff, my office staff, and the facility services staff, who have really worked very hard for the last several weeks to make our campus look wonderful inside and out. They have made an important contribution to your day, as have many others. There are few areas of the college that do not participate in Convocation. This Convocation marks the end of an academic year which has seen completion of a number of landmark projects on campus, including our wonderful new Sustainable Skills Life Sciences and Technology Center, 4 new residence buildings, projects which will change the look of your college for all future students. And we so appreciate the patience of students who've had to deal with the dust and development while these wonderful projects have been ongoing, and it's wonderful that they're finished while you're here. Members of the graduating class, in a few minutes, you will officially be awarded your certificate or diploma. My heartfelt congratulations to each of you. You did it. It's important to remember that you have not accomplished this very important life achievement, the attainment of a post-secondary credential, all on your own. Look around. And there, as they always have been, are your parents, dedicated Loyalist professors and staff, significant others, children, relatives, and friends, Loyalist board and foundation board members, and so many community partners. Now, I know you've just been sitting for a minute, but I'm going to ask you to join me in giving these wonderful supporters a standing ovation, because I know you'll agree you couldn't have done it without them. So please stand for a moment, graduating students, and salute your supporters. No, you guys sit. Thank you very much. And graduates, I know you couldn't have done it without all of those folks. So we are also very proud of you, and of course we're here to share your celebration and to wish you continuing success as Loyalist graduates. I encourage you to feel very proud of your accomplishments, your college, and the wide open future which lies ahead of you. Feel proud of yourself. As Chair Wright said, you're joining a very large family of graduates. Loyalist graduates are making powerful, positive contributions to their families, workplaces, and communities around the corner, across Ontario, across Canada, and internationally. Feel proud of your college. I thank you for choosing Loyalist, and I hope that you'll be among the 97% of our graduates who say they would recommend us. That's a lot of trust, and we cherish it. Loyalist is an outstanding college, and one reason we know that with certainty is that Loyalist graduates never cease to amaze us. You're going to hear from one in a few minutes. When faculty and staff pass on stories of graduate achievement, or when grads come back to share their stories with current students, we all feel immense pride. You are joining a family today, just as you did when you first came through Loyalist doors. As you head off to your next life adventures, we say, as your family will say, keep in touch. To welcome you to the Loyalist alumni family, representatives of our Alumni Association are here today to congratulate you as you leave the stage. Our wonderful alumni publication, and we will find your addresses, is called Lasting Connections. I am confident that you will find, as I have found as a Loyalist graduate myself, that your Loyalist connections are links that will endure and strengthen throughout your personal and professional lives. Last but not least, feel very proud of the awesome potential of the life that lies ahead of you. By earning a post-secondary credential, you have armed yourself with a powerful tool for making a significant difference. We have the privilege of living in this wonderful country with all of its freedoms and opportunities. We each have a responsibility to try to make society better through our involvement and contributions. And with the challenges the world faces today, in our environment, in our economy, in every arena, your skills and talents are urgently needed more than ever. Keep inspiring us and challenging us. Keep your skills sharp by becoming a lifelong learner. In closing, again, congratulations. We are so very proud of each of you, and you should feel deep and well-earned pride in yourself. And take a moment to enjoy that and savor it. Each of you has enriched Loyalist with your presence here, and you will continue to enrich Loyalist with your accomplishments. Enjoy every moment of this celebratory day, and on behalf of the entire Loyalist community and family, best wishes to each of you for a bright, happy, and rewarding future. Congratulations. It's now my privilege to introduce our guest speaker to address Convocation this afternoon, Mr. Ken Murphy. Ken Murphy is a media executive with more than 25 years of leadership experience in Canadian specialty television and is the president and co-founder of High Fidelity HDTV, a Canadian-based specialty broadcaster. Ken's wealth of experience in senior leadership roles covers virtually all areas of television, including business development, channel distribution, ad sales, marketing, engineering, operations, and interactive media. Ken founded High Fidelity HDTV, Inc., anticipating two emerging trends in Canadian broadcasting, high-definition television and the boomer audience, and of course both are prevalent. Prior to his venture with High Fidelity HDTV, Ken had a lengthy television career with both TSN, the sports network, and Discovery Channel Canada, parent company Netstar Communications, holding a number of positions, including Director of Operations for TSN and President of Discovery Channel Canada. A pioneer with the TSN management team, which developed and launched TSN in 1984, Ken was an integral part of one of Canada's first specialty services and its most successful. He went on to lead the operational and engineering teams which designed and built one of Canada's first all-digital major broadcast facilities, and which became the future home of TSN and Discovery Channel. With Netstar Communications Inc., with Netstar Communications Inc.'s acquisition of Discovery Channel, Ken was named Vice President, Production and Administration, and became President in 2000. He was one of the key executives responsible for Discovery Channel's launch and subsequent enormous success in the Canadian media marketplace. Ken also served as a long-standing member of Loyalist Television Program Advisory Committee and acted as its chair for 2 terms. A comment that Ken made, this is from Dean Jane Harrison, who advises us that a comment that Ken made at one of the advisory committee meetings led to the development of the current television and new media program when he said, "What we need are graduates who are trained as generalists but particularly good at one thing." Well, that's what we do. Ken lives in Toronto with his most understanding wife, Paula, and their sons, Alexander and Brian. Ken is a graduate of our television broadcasting program and was also a member of the Loyalist College Board of Governors from 2003 to 2006. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our guest for this afternoon to address Convocation, a distinguished Canadian, Ken Murphy.
Thank you very much, President Piercy, for such a kind introduction. As mentioned, I'm a graduate of Loyalist College, class of '79, and I'm a proud alumnus. And maybe you'd expect me to say that here today, but what I really want to say is I love Loyalist College. Loyalist College believed in me and restored my confidence twice, 20 years apart. Now, normally I don't like to talk about myself, but I'll do so today to explain how Loyalist College and how subsequently a few key people in my career have helped me along the way and have been so important in my life. The first time Loyalist College was there for me, it saved me, was back in 1977. I was a rock and roll drummer touring around the wilds of Quebec. The truth is, I was a mediocre drummer. I was a pot-smoking drummer. And I was completely lost and depressed. I was also feeling very unwanted in Montreal at the time as an English Canadian during the period of the language and culture wars of the 70s. And when I finally admitted to myself that I didn't have the chops to make it to the top of the rock and roll drumming world, I decided to do the next best thing. And that is to go to, I don't want to say it, Fanshawe College to study music recording arts. God's truth is, we were driving down, my girlfriend and I were driving down the 401 on the way to Fanshawe College, and we were running low on gas. And we pulled off to fill up at Belleville. And my girlfriend at the time urged me to check out Loyalist College. She said they have a studio production program there. While we're here, you should drop by. You should check this out. Well, I was reluctant, but nevertheless, I showed up here, unannounced one day, and to my surprise was met with open arms. And to my even greater surprise and astonishment, I was conditionally accepted. And when asked if I wanted to tour the facilities, I said, of course. Imagine my surprise when I realized that studio production was in fact television studio production, not the recording studio program that I thought and that I had assumed. Oh, well, I thought, so much for that. We got back down on the 401, and I promptly failed my audition at Fanshawe College. Now, I have to tell you, this was a low point, and I was lost. And it was my girlfriend who at the time believed in me, honestly, more than I believed in myself. She told me to go for it. Open yourself to change. Give TV a try. You might like it. You might even love it. 35 years later, she was right. I'm so glad she pushed me and believed in me, especially at that low point. This is a recurring theme, by the way. Others believing me at critical times, sometimes more than I believed in myself. And so this is how Loyalist College helped me for the first time welcoming me with open arms into a positive environment full of wonderful people. And it was a positive experience that set me on a whole new career path. The point of this story is that for me, and I suspect for many of you, during times of big change, big sudden change, it's critical to listen to people who believe in you and who want to help you. After I graduated from Loyalist College, I joined a new pay TV business that everybody said was sure to fail. Now, I have to remind you, back in the late 70s, there were 4 television channels on the air, and they were all free. And everybody said no one would ever pay for television. Well, the company I joined was called Star Channel, and it was Canada's first pay TV company. You've probably never heard of this company, and for good reasons. We went bankrupt after 9 months. All those people were right. Ouch! That was a rough start after graduating from Loyalist College and feeling so positive. But a short time afterwards, a fellow I had worked with oh so briefly at Star Channel called me, and he asked me to move to Toronto to join another new pay TV company, and in a management role, no less. Everybody said this new channel would fail as well, and hadn't I learned from my previous experience? It was called TSN, and maybe you've heard of that channel. I was offered a big job way out of my depth and my comfort zone, and I was offered that job because that individual believed in me, once more than I believed in myself at the time. I took the risk, I moved to Toronto, I listened to a believer and a supporter, and I was open to the possibility that a pay TV company might actually work, even though I had just been burned by one. And I opened myself to the possibility that I might be able to lead in a management role. Well, I had a great run with TSN for over 11 years, growing as a person and growing professionally, as the channel became the powerhouse that we know today. I remember thinking that I might end my career at TSN. And out of the blue, a woman I barely knew, I only knew her by reputation, she literally tapped me on the shoulder and she said, "Have you seen that executive position posting?" And I had, and it was completely out of my zone. I wasn't that person. I wasn't an executive. I didn't know about that documentary production stuff. That channel was called Discovery Channel. At the time, no one had ever heard of it. Well, Ms. McQueen, who tapped me on the shoulder, saw something in me I wasn't able to see myself. She urged me to take the risk, change direction, get out of my comfort zone, and her words, "Go for it." She believed in me, once again, more than I was able to believe in myself at that time. Fast forward, after a little bit of hard work, maybe a lot of hard work, within a few years I was president of Discovery Channel, and I was at the top of my game, once again, feeling pretty good, feeling comfortable and successful. Then the company running TSN and Discovery Channel was sold. And then everything changed, and it changed suddenly. Without warning, I was fired. I didn't fit into the new ownership's game plan. And this was after 19 years of dedicated service to TSN and to Discovery Channel. I had a big salary, I had a big title, I had health benefits, I had a pension, and in an instant, it was all gone. And I had a young family to support. Ouch, for the second time. And this is the second time Loyalist College was there for me. Literally a couple of days after I was fired, and I was still in shock, Dr. Auld, then head of Loyalist College, called me out of the blue and asked me to join the Board of Governors. And I pointed out, I'm not qualified. I don't have governance experience. And frankly, I'm no longer the big-time media executive you thought you were calling. In fact, I'm unemployed. Well, Dr. Auld listened very carefully and quietly, and he said he wanted me, not the president of Discovery Channel. So once again, at a time of great turmoil and uncertainty, Loyalist College was there for me. The pattern repeats. And within a year or so, I decided to head out on my own and start my own enterprise to develop several new pay TV channels, this time in high definition. I had no experience starting a company from scratch. I'd always been an employee. Along with a partner, we searched for several years to raise the capital from investors who would believe in our vision and believe in us. It was the hardest thing I ever did. And in those early years of High Fidelity, it looked like we were sure to fail. We were doomed. And I had many days of despondence and depression. I could only see the long odds many days, and the barriers, and the reasons it won't work. I was in deep, and I was way over my head. I had bet the house, I had bet our meager savings, and I had bet the kids' college fund. This time it was my wife, Paula, who could see something that I couldn't see. She believed in me. And oftentimes she believed me with a very pointed wag of her teacher finger, I might add. And believe me, that gets my attention. But the pattern repeats, somebody believing in me at a low point, like Loyalist College had done twice before. She urged me to face my fears and believe in myself and believe in success. Well, today, High Fidelity is a small but successful media company. We have about 50 full-time media staff, including many Loyalist grads, I'm proud to say. We operate 4 great HD channels. I won't give you a commercial. Oasis HD, Nature Channel, Hi-Fi Music and Art, RadX and Adventure Channel, and EQ HD and Ideas and Culture Channel. And what I'm about to say is not bragging. We're so successful. This past December, my partners and I recently sold the company for $85 million. I don't say that to brag. I say that to tell you dreams can come true. And when people believe, and you focus, and you work hard, anything is possible. And sometimes it's hard to remember that. And I suspect many of you, dare I say most of you, will have those kinds of moments ahead of you. So you might be thinking Ken Murphy has this recurring problem with self-confidence, especially during times of great change, and you'd be right. But if I can leave you with anything on this special day, your graduation day, it is this. Loyalist College and your hard work have prepared you for a bright future and new careers. Well done, all of you. But I predict that you'll need to zig and zag more than a few times in your career and in your lifetime. Sometimes the change will be sudden, and sometimes it will be scary. It's at these times I urge you to remember to be open to people who support you and believe you. Reach out, or at least listen. When the chips are down, they may see something in you can't see yourself as you cope with the noise and confusion that's baked into career and life change. So that's why I love Loyalist College. I'm a proud grad, but I use that word very, very carefully. I love this place, and I hope you do too. Oh, and by the way, I'm still a rock and roll drummer. I'm still mediocre, but I love it. And thank you for listening to my story. Thank you, Loyalist College, for being there for me, not once, but twice. And congratulations to all of you on your graduation day. Best wishes and good luck to all of you.
Well, I am delighted to thank Ken for joining us on this special occasion and for delivering such a memorable and meaningful address to us. I'm particularly impressed in the message of belief and hope that you've left with me, because as a Leaf fan, I believe again. They will win the Stanley Cup in my lifetime. I'm pleased to announce that the Board of Governors, by virtue of the authority invested in it, has authorized me to award Ken the highest tribute of Loyalist College, an honorary diploma in applied arts, in recognition of his extensive experience in the media industry, for his innovation and leadership in providing high-quality programming to Canadians. Yeah. Okay. And here we are. Great address, Ken.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the formal part of our ceremony where the certificates and diplomas and awards will be presented. President Piercy, it is my privilege to report to you that the candidates here assembled have qualified in all respects for certificates, diplomas, and advanced diplomas by successfully completing curricula offered by the School of Continuing Education and the School of Media Studies at Loyalist College. They have been recommended by the faculty to be awarded certificates or diplomas in recognition of their academic accomplishments.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of Loyalist College, I do hereby confer on our graduates their respective certificates, diplomas, and advanced diplomas with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
President Piercy, on behalf of the graduates not present, I request that you confer their diplomas and certificates in absentia.
I so do.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the academic team from the School of Continuing Education and the School of Media Studies will oversee the conferring of diplomas. During the next part of the program, we will be presenting the graduates who will proceed across the stage to receive congratulations from the President and from a member of the Board of Governors. In order that we can clearly hear everyone's name, we ask your cooperation in withholding your applause until each group has been presented. Those taking photographs are asked to use the designated area to the left of the stage. Graduates will be presented by Trudy Lake, Manager, Continuing Education, and by Jane Harrison, Dean, School of Media Studies. I would like to introduce Trudy Lake, Manager, Continuing Education.
Governor Scarborough, it is my pleasure to present the recipients of Loyalist College certificates in accounting techniques, computer fundamentals, distance education for educators, facilitator of adult learning, fundamentals of policing, geographic information systems, geriatric studies, graphic design software application, health records clerk, and home inspection. Geriatric studies. Edward Clapp. Thank you, Governor Scarborough. Governor Rouleau.
Okay.
It is my pleasure to present the recipients of Loyalist College certificates in Hospital Ward Clerk, Human Resources Management, Legal Assistant, Office Administration, Office Assistant, Palliative Care, Proficiency in Conversational French, Floral Design, Small Business Bookkeeping, and Sterile Processing. Legal Assistant Certificate. Sheila Schultes. Professional Florist Certificate. Karen Monroe. Jacqueline Rolls. Catherine Sinnott. Mia Rang Yang. Small Business Bookkeeping, Jason Poirier. Thank you, Governor Rouleau. Governor Dockrell, it is my pleasure to present the recipients of Ontario College diplomas in Supply Chain and Logistics Management, Working with Dementia, Food Service Worker, Office Administration Medical, Office Administration Transcription, Office Administration Veterinary, Activation Techniques in Gerontology, Perioperative Nursing, Registered Nurse Oncology, and Registered Practical Nurse Oncology. Dementia Studies. Gina Lumen. Ontario College Certificate, Food Service Worker. Deborah Birch. Douglas Irving. Mila Ma. Palwinder Pandur. Dean's List. Heather Perrick. Amolak Sidhu, Dean's List. Balwinder Sindhu. Ontario College diplomas. Office Administration. Thomas Hamlin, Dean's List. Peter Jones. Office Administration Medical. Isabel Aucoin, Dean's List. Julie Bassett, Dean's List. Christine Bliss, Dean's List. April Davey, Dean's List. Malinda Fransky, Dean's List. Office Administration Medical, Martha Germain. Amanda Henwood, Dean's List. Sheila Pomfrey, Dean's List. Ashley Ridley, Dean's List. Deirdre Willems. Office Admin Medical Transcriptionist. Barbara Fowler, Dean's List. Catherine Jones, Dean's List. Ontario College Graduate Certificate. Activation Techniques, Gerontology. Deborah Tyndale, Dean's List. Thank you. Thank you, Governor Dockrell. This concludes the conferring of certificates for the School of Continuing Education. I would like to introduce Jane Harrison, Dean of the School of Media, who will present the graduates from the School of Media.
Thank you, Trudy. Thanks for the warm applause. Past Chair Workoven. Past Chair Workoven, it is my pleasure to present the recipients of Ontario College certificates, diplomas, and awards in Art and Design Foundation, Media Experience, Advertising and Promotions for Retail, Advertising, and Broadcasting Radio. Arts and Design Foundation. Eric Rassier. Jennifer Brown. Matthew Day, Dean's List. Also graduating with new media production and animation. Ruskin Dayal. Laura Doyle. Excuse me. Natalie Field, Dean's List. Ricarda Forbes Loth, Dean's List. Lena Fuchs, Dean's List. Andrew Hayashi. Tiffany Jones, Dean's List. Alicia Yonkers, Dean's List. Dana Lefebvre, Dean's List. Mary Beatus. Jessica Robichaud. Travis Whaley, Dean's List. Ryan Whiteman. Taylor Williams. Eli Wilson, Dean's List. Alexandria Yu. Media Experience Certificate Program. Christian Canarucci. Sean Carlton. Leanna Clark. Bobby Finkel. Lacey Jalot. Jennifer Hussey. Ryan Peters. Andrew Swainson. Dylan Young. Ontario College Diploma in Advertising. Michelle Alexander, Dean's List. Chelsea Ashby. Ashley Ballantyne, Dean's List. Bradley Boyle, Dean's List. Lindsay Corrigan, Dean's List. Shelley Follis. Mallory Jennings. Allison Kinghorn, Dean's List. Brian Lamour. Sarah Morgan. Matai Savalescu. Aaron Scanlon. Kyle Sherwin, Dean's List. Jordan Stark, Dean's List. Tristan Treasure. Julissa Vandenberg, Dean's List. Ashley Walsh, Dean's List, and the recipient of the Faculty Union of Loyalist College Award for Academics and Involvement in College and Community Life. Broadcasting Radio. Brian Armstrong. Devin Bellinger, Dean's List. Elliot Boudreau. Michael Clark. John Cowan. Jordan Downer. Ian Fenton. Ryan Forsyth, Dean's List, and the recipient of the Country 105 and Energy 99.7 Radio Award for the Outstanding Graduate in the Broadcasting Radio Program. Mark Hansen, Dean's List, and the recipient of the Starboard Communication Cool 199.5 Hits FM Multitasker Award. Mike Kelly. Reese McGrath. Robert Mulrooney, Dean's List, and tripping up the stairs. No. And the recipient of the Mix 97 Quinny Broadcasting Award for being the top announcer. Cameron Rayner. Photojournalism. Kayla Allen. Joanna Beckett. Dean's List. Bryn Campbell. And I'm going to hold for a second. Thank you, Governor Werkhoven. I was to pass your duty on. I do apologize. Governor Fleming, please. Governor Fleming, it is my pleasure to present the recipients of Ontario College diplomas, advanced diplomas and awards in photojournalism, or some of them, broadcast engineering technology, journalism, online, print and broadcast, and new media production and animation. Samantha Cantillon. Thank you. Michelle Cochran. Jessica Corriveau. Melissa DiNardo. Chloe Ellickson. Kelly Gagne. Zachary Greco. Mallory Hay. Kristen Haveman, Dean's List. Linda Horn. Stephanie James. Sharon Kalasthi, Dean's List. Tristan Kong. Thomas Lee. Tiffany McEwen. Rhea Monroe. Daniel Pierce. Megan Pekchak. Patsiak. Rachel Sitka, Dean's List. Marina Sanford. Mark Tarnovetsky. Sherry Tompkins, Dean's List. Ontario College Advanced Diploma. Broadcast Engineering Technology. Jeffrey Blakeney, Dean's List. Evan Britton. Nathaniel Despande, Dean's List. Derek Fleming. Sarah Fergosh, Dean's List. Andre Ambeau, Dean's List. Dean's. You just got it right. Journalism, online, print, and broadcast. Patricia Allenson, Dean's List. James Bowler. Jennifer Bowman, Dean's List. Evan Cook. Ashley Gell, Dean's List. Christine Hostler. Nicole Kleinstberg, Dean's List, and the recipient of the Orland French Investigative Journalism Award for the Best Investigative Journalism Story. Andrew Bendler, Dean's List. Leah Vandenberg. Thank you, Governor Fleming. Governor Williams, it is my pleasure to present the recipients of Ontario College Advanced Diploma Certificates and Awards in Television and New Media Production, Public Relations, and Sports Journalism. I said Governor Williams. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you. Emily Banks, Dean's List. Graham Berry. Joshua Balls, Dean's List. Benjamin Brooks. Courtney Campbell. Chadwick Campoli. Adam Copeland. Richard Creamer, Dean's List. David Franche. Matthew Gifford. Samantha Gilby. Andrew Greco. Julia Hume, Dean's List. Amanda Kiss, Dean's List. Wesley Brewer. Sarah Ryan, Dean's List. Graham Sewell. Joshua Summers, Dean's List. Julian Thierry. Nathan Vader, Dean's List. Brent Versluis. Versluis. My apologies. Kevin Weiss. Television and New Media Production. Melissa Barta, Dean's List. Tara Burr, Dean's List. William Cabana Marshall. Daniel Campbell. Jonathan Carter. Amanda Chenier. Rebecca. I know. Rebecca Chochek. Dean's List. Jacob Cote, Dean's List, and the recipient of the Broadcast Advisory Committee Best Director Award. Brandon Craig's Dean's List, and the recipient of the Kevin Sansom Memorial Award sponsored by the Lanark Amateur Radio Club. This award is in memory of a valued member of our television and new media production program, Kevin Sansom. This award is for a deserving student who is taught by Kevin and demonstrates the following traits: helpful, unflappable, professional, humble, approachable, optimistic, and embraces new technology. Megan Crow, Dean's List. Megan Etherington. Danielle Gauthier, Dean's List. Ryan Harding, Dean's List. Tabitha Horst, recipient of the Broadcast Advisory Committee Outstanding Graduate Award. Masazumi Kabata, Dean's List. Stephen McCoy. Kyle McLaughlin. Marcy Moody. Liam O'Neill, Dean's List. Adam Razwanowski, I'm sorry. Almost. Thomas Rideout, Dean's List, and the recipient of the Broadcast Advisory Committee Best Operator Award. Sydney Shepard, Dean's List, and the recipient of the Television Faculty Award for academic excellence, communication skills, and being a team player. Joseph Spencer. Wilson. Taylor Wood, Dean's List. Ontario College Graduate Certificates. Public Relations. Sean Aspridge, Dean's List. Christopher Barnum, Dean's List. Shannon Burke, Dean's List. Will Carson, Dean's List. Garrett Coles. Kyle Donnan, Dean's List. Jennifer Amon, Dean's List. Alicia Geen, Dean's List. Jocelyn Hiltz, Dean's List. Doug Holt, Dean's List. Tara McKinnon, Dean's List. Rebecca Martin, Dean's List. Carly McCann, Dean's List. Amanda Oliver, Dean's List. Rachel Pearsall, Dean's List. Lise Rillo, Dean's List. We've just awarded the post-diploma certificate to a member of the Board of Governors, our student representative, hence the response. Yeah. Melissa Semenuk, Dean's List. Lindsay Sinclair, Dean's List. Lucy Stewart Burton, Dean's List. Devin Taylor, Dean's List. Casey Telford, Dean's List. Cody Churhan Guy, Dean's List. Matthew Woods, Dean's List. Sports Journalism. Logan Clow, of Dean's List and the recipient of the G.P. Hunt Sports Award for Attitude, Effort, Teamwork, and Achievement of Learning Outcomes in the Sports Journalism Program. Ryan Dickinson, Dean's List. John Langdon, Dean's List. Sean McLeish, Dean's List. Jaden Snodden, Dean's List. Michael Wabshall, also graduating with Journalism, Online, Print, and Broadcast. Thank you, Governor Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes. I'll just let the last celebratory hugs take place. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the conferring of certificates, diplomas, and advanced diplomas for the School of Continuing Education and the School of Media Studies. Please join me in congratulating the graduates of the class of 2012.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to, first of all, thank the staff from the Registrar's Office and the Maintenance Department for their work preparing for Convocation. It is a most daunting exercise. I'd also like to thank our string duo, Marion Stratton and Linda Minty, and our piper, Charlie Orr, from 8 Wing Pipes and Drums. Charlie. You're all invited to join us afterwards in the Parrott Center. We have light refreshments over there and a great opportunity to take photos immediately following this. It is now my duty to declare Convocation 2012 officially closed. I would ask that everyone please rise for the benediction, the playing of the Royal Anthem, and to remain standing for the recessional. Thank you.
Creator of all humanity, may the destiny you have placed before us as educated women and men take root with us. May you, who have graduated today, share your knowledge for the benefit of others and for our world. May your understanding of life be broadened and enriched. May your imagination be touched with a new vision that ever sees the possibility of service and stewardship. Keep us from discouragement by providing a beacon of life and hope in even the darkest hours. May the Spirit encompassing all faiths be with each one of you, guiding your hearts and minds and giving you courage and purpose on the journey ahead. Amen.